Welcome back, old fat and 40. I wanna skip the waffle and I want to talk about yesterday. Um, I went to my first ever daytime, I call it a rave, daytime drum and bass event. Um, Stone cold sober, clean, didn't touch a thing, not a drink, not a drug, nothing. Um, and it was fire. What is it that you say? I was gassed when I got back. Yeah, I know I sound like a proper dick. No, it was amazing, and the whole experience from start to finish. And I recommend anyone does it, particularly if you went to clubs back in the day and you're used to getting. I don't know if people even still use this phrase. You're used to getting mashed off your tits, um, and walking out at 6, 7 in the morning, and even thinking of an after party like Egg, or if you're in Ibiza Space. Um, but yeah, it was everything I wanted it to be. And like I said, I've been going to clubs for 29 years. 97 was the first time I ever went into a club. Not once sober or clean. Never done that before. So yesterday was a first. And I'm trying to. There's things that I noticed, and I've got my little notes here next to me because literally I was having a time of my life, but at the same time I was so aware for once, not like I said, mashed off my tits, aware of everything around me. I was making little notes of stuff that was going on. So the first thing was the people in the queue were so nice. Proper mixed bunch, my age. A lot of guys with paunches these days because they were the OG ravers, if you like. They were, 96, maybe 95, maybe some of them like early 90s were going to clubs. So we're now the granddaddies. So there was a lot of older guys with paunches in the queue, a lot of bald patches, a lot of grey stubble. But there was also some younger guys in the queue. There was a nice couple in front of me. We had a chat. Um, there was like some, what I call kids. To me, they're kids, maybe 18, 19. That was good to see. The scene's still alive. Um, and then getting up to the door, I got ID'd. I haven't been ID'd in 20 years. I'm 44 years of age, really, 44 years of age, right? I don't get ID'd anymore. And the bouncer did the typical thing, po face, ID, mate. And I was like, really? Like I said, like, will my face not do? He went, that's not ID. I was like, mate, if you think I'm under 18, I've had a fucking hard life. It was adamant that, that I give my ID, so I did. So that was quite funny. Um, Being sober and seeing the layout of a club, back in the day, I'm used to going into a club, coming up on whatever you've taken, and then you sort of look around in this muddled fashion. You're like, you're coming up on something, you're not quite sure where you are. You walk upstairs, you forget, you come back, and you find out the layout of the club by accident. But this time I had a proper mooch about, saw where the toilets were, saw where the bars were, saw where the good dance areas were, saw where the smoking area was. I don't smoke anymore, but that's where people go and chat shit, isn't it? And what was it? Oh, that was it. So the club filled up. You know what I noticed? People with phones. Now, don't get me wrong. Even back in my day, there were phones, but Nokia brick phones, right? Camera phones and video phones. If you're a dick in a club these days, either you're dancing, out of time, or you're a bit mashed off your tits and you look worse for wear, and someone films you. Look up Gurning Rave Guy, for example, on YouTube, and you'll see what I mean. You can't get away with nothing these days, and I'm really pleased. Thank fuck I went clubbing before the days we had to be paranoid about someone videoing you and sticking it on socials or sticking it on YouTube. You know, I'd love to be the next I'd be the final boss and make a couple of million within a year, but that ain't going to happen. If I'm going to get filmed, it's going to be because I look a bit silly. So, yeah, I'm really pleased that I went clubbing the days when phone cameras just didn't exist and phone videos definitely didn't exist. Um, the other thing I noticed was whacking great dopamine hit going into a club with the lasers and the lights on and the music and the bass. You can feel that wobbly bass, particularly Makoto was playing. I'll get onto that. And what I also noticed was it's great exercise dancing for, well, if you can keep it up for 8 hours. And no one gives a shit what you look like. It's just, you can dance any which way you want as long as you're roughly in time with the beat. It's just about perpetual motion. That's all it is. Um, and it's great exercise, but I tell you something, I danced for 4.5 hours, and I was knackered. Yeah, I'm a bit worse for wear these days, right? But someone said to me on the way, "No, your feet will hurt. That's the difference you'll notice." It was a couple talking to me about clubbing sober. Yeah, my feet hurt, and my hamstrings and muscles I didn't know I still had in my legs. But I tell you what I didn't come out with? Back pain. If you know, you know. Back in the day, you come out of a club, 6, 7 a.m., you've had a few too many disco biscuits, and your kidneys are fucked, and you get lower back pain. You don't come out with any of that. You come out with leg pain and feet that are aching. I'm still looking at my phone here, seeing what else I spotted last night. There were great vibes. That was the other thing. You don't really give a shit who's dancing next to you. It's just pure vibes. And there's the rave etiquette that's still alive and kicking. I'm so pleased to see it. People push past you, get into their mates, and you try and help them out. Like, my tolerance is lower these days to people pushing past me, and I wonder how, if I think back, we ever in a crowded dance floor like Coco or The End or The Cross or Egg or Ministry, we ever got back to our mates, because you would pick a spot in a dance floor and dance there, and then one of you would go off to the toilet or to get drinks or whatever, or go on a little mission. And you'd come back and you'd have to find your mates by squeezing in between people dancing, which would get on their nerves. And you're like, how the fuck in a crowd did I ever find my mates again? How did we do that? I couldn't work it out, because I was watching people like all muddled trying to find their mates. But yeah. But my tolerance is lower these days. So when I was at the back, when you're near the stairs that come onto the dance floor and people push past you, like, mate, you can see I'm dancing, don't get in my dance space. So, but rave etiquette is alive. Like, you let people go. If someone bumps into you, there's no aggro. You say, all right, mate. You maybe shake their hand. If someone reaches out for a sweaty hug, you give it to them. Do you know what I mean? You pat them on their clammy back. So it's good to see that's alive and well. Drugs, you can tell who's got them. You can tell who's on them. You can see who's dealing. How they think they don't get clocked, maybe on a busy dance floor, I don't know, but I could spot it a mile off. When you go to the toilet, obviously there's a long queue for the cubicles, bit of a giveaway. And there was a fella in the queue, and he said to me, "Oh, do you know DJ Mark?" I was, yeah. Like, he goes, "Oh, I've noticed a lot of older guys like you. You're like 45, aren't you?" I was like, "Oh, fuck off, mate." He was just being funny. He was a lively little chap, and he was like a kid to me. Like, he was like, what, 27, 28. I was like, yeah, there's a lot of people like me. Back in the day, we used to go to clubs. We knew drum and bass when it came into being, 95, 96, when jungle progressed into drum and bass. So, how long have you been coming to clubs? And I thought back, I was like, 29 years, 97. Goes, I wasn't even born. I was like, just get in the fucking cubicle. So yeah, that was interesting. And just trying to think what else. The other thing is that I spotted is, you don't, maybe it's my age again, the older guys, we were like dancing at the back, we let the youngins go at the front. But you don't like look around and, like, when you were younger, you look around at the women and what they're wearing and stuff. You don't care. You're just there for pure vibes. That's not important. That's good. The anonymity was cool. No one knew I was there. No one knew who I was. Didn't matter. Could have made up any backstory. And that was kind of exciting in a way. But there is one thing. I think I said it earlier in this. I don't understand. Like 4.5 hours, I was knackered, dancing, and I left. I left about 7:30. It was a daytime event. How anyone dances when we danced back in the day again. I've got to start using the word back in the day. From say 10, 11 p.m. till 6, 7 a.m. How you dance for 8 hours, 9 hours without the little disco biscuits or any drugs, I don't know. I actually don't think it's possible. It is fucking good cardio workout. I'll give it that. And the other thing I spotted was, I used to love chatting random bollocks in queues or in a smoking area. You just get chatting to people because you're both off your box. You've got so much chat in your head and you're blah, 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 blah. And anyone listening in, it makes no sense what you're talking about. It's just nonsense, but it's great fun. It was hard to jump into those conversations while sober. But do you know what? The whole thing was great. Would I do another one? Absolutely. I would go to another daytime event. There's one coming up in Hitchin, which is not far from me. There is one coming up in North Greenwich, Hospital Records. I'd definitely go for that. It's a bit of a mission from where I live. I had a great time. I left unscathed. I got a full night's sleep. I feel good. My legs ache a bit. That's it. So yeah, clubbing sober, you know, it's a new thing for me, but I absolutely loved it. And I recommend anyone does it. So yeah, that's it for now. Old Fat and 40. Subscribe, like, comment below.